Hey, hi all. Hope you are all having an amazing day today. Today we are back with another very interesting episode where I'm going to speak about some of the topics that are doubling down in this year. Every year I take a couple of topics to double down based on the importance of it and relevance to my career. Today I'm going to speak about few of those themes that I picked up this year and why it is important in 2025 and why I'm doubling down on those topics in this year, right? Let's look at what are those skills and what are some of the subtopics that I'm diving deeper into in these areas. And I would probably explain why this is important for you as well in this year. Myself, Seren, I'm a product and a growth leader. Previously worked in companies like Zomato, Food Panda, Gojek, and many other startups in India and abroad. I love doing these blogs because it's one of my hobbies in order to share my learnings and have very fruitful discussions with like-minded people, which is why I'm doing this as a fun project. So as you all know that last few years we are all going through a rapid transformation, especially with the invent of AI and a lot of technology rapidly evolving around us. And I believe that one of the major skills that you always need to uh, have with you is the ability to learn continuously, right? And also the ability to learn the right way, right? So let's look at what are those subtopics and why it is important to learn continuously, especially in these days, right? So first thing I wanted to talk about is your ability to learn also depends upon how we are able to uh, like chunk your knowledge, right? So basically breaking big ideas into smaller learnable pieces and using it whenever needed is a big skill that you need to develop, right? So that's the first thing. Second thing, I call this as Feynman technique, which is a famous mental model again, where your ability to break things down into the smallest parts, explain it very simply to somebody is a very important skill that you need to have. And then you keep refining it, right? So basically, the concept is if you are able to explain in a very simple term to a 5-year-old guy, you have really understood that topic is what this technique talks about, which is what I wanna talk about second, right? Like in order for you to continuously learn, these kind of techniques are very important. Third is your ability to transfer your learning, right? So let's say you are learning something today in, let's say, in software, right? This kind of philosophy could be probably used in another area of your life as well, right? So connected learning is very important. Transferred learning is very important, and this is another skill that you obviously need to develop in these times. Another one I would also talk about is probably space repetition, right? Uh, how you probably remember stuff, how do you recall it at the right moment is also very important for you in the entire learning process because that helps in you to apply these knowledge at the right areas at the right time, right? So that's also very important, right? Some personal reflections for me is I have really uh, believed in this concept for a long time. And the reason why I'm doubling down in this year is because I believe that there has been a lot of changes that is happening around me. And it becomes even more important for me to continuously evolve this skill of mine, which is learning to learn the right way, right? And I always believe that if you are able to learn things faster, across domains, across industries, and you are able to uh, repeatedly do that, right? And turn your confusion into clarity. That really helps you thrive on different roles that you're taking up, right? So that's about learning to learn. That's a very important skill. I always recommend you to really double down and continuously learn and evolve yourself into. Right. Now let's look at the second area that I have been doubling down this year. AI again has been like rapidly developing in the last few years, especially with the invent of ChatGPT, with the company rolling out that product. There has been a sharp change in the industry in the use of AI, right? Be it like applied AI products to core AI products. There have been a lot of evolution happening there, right? Which is why problem solving with an AI is a very important skill that you need to develop today. Uh, because that helps you to quickly solve problems, right? So if I break it down, some of the things that you should probably learn more this year is, hey, how do I use AI based tools, right, in order to uh, do my work faster and more efficient, right? This is a skill that you need to develop, right? That's the first thing. Second is, how do I really use AI to solve problems, right? For example, traditionally you would be using a very logic based software to solve something. Today you have the power of generative AI to solve it. You need to know how to use that generative AI to solve that problem, and also a good awareness about concepts of AI, because then it helps you to build the right products and solve problems in a better, efficient and a faster manner. So these are some of the things that I believe is very important in 2025. I am doubling down on it because for me it's like having like another 100 interns or infinite resources at my hand in order to do stuff, which makes my work more efficient and faster as well. Right? So AI based problem solving is one other skill that I'm doubling down in this year. Third one is my favorite, right? And something that I've been like working for years now. Right through my college days, I've been like working on this, and I love to continuously evolve myself to a better communicator, because I believe that as a human being, that's one of the edges that we have to able to communicate to people, to communicate to your community, your peers, and everybody, right? And it's a very important meta skill to have. So things like, hey, how do you structure ideas clearly? To how do you better tell stories? To how do you use your writing skills? To how do you use your communication to inspire others, bring people along, build teams, everything, right? It's a very important skill that has always worked for me, and I continuously keep evolving and learning on the skill, right? I also have this experience of getting a lot of kind of opportunities because I was able to communicate my ideas very clearly to my peers and my audience. In fact, one of the reasons why I love to do these kind of videos is also that where it helps me polish my communication. It helps me to deliver and explain things in a very simple manner to you guys, thereby sharpening my communication skills. So, there's also one very important skill that I would suggest you work on in 2025 and possibly working for years on this. Please continuously sharpen on this. Another skill that I believe that could be a game changer again in your entire wealth creation journey, in your uh, career and growth is also investment and financial literacy. Most of the times, we focus on earning more and believe that that would solve everything, right? But I believe that like how you allocate your capital, how you smartly allocate your time, capital, all these things are very important for you to get compounding returns. So that being said, investment and financial literacy is something which I am doubling down in this year. And I believe that most of you would also probably would relate to this, because I've been like living in India where like this kind of financial literacy and investment advices has not been taught in the early college days, or let's say in your school time, which makes it very important for all of us to continuously learn this. So especially knowing concepts like, hey, what is assets is liability, like, how should you accumulate more assets with liability is very important. Not going deeper into this topic, but generally talking about these things so that you can probably go down the rabbit hole and do the research as well. Compounding, right? Like everything in life, be it wealth creation to your learning, to your career, to relationship, everything compounds over a period of time. And you knowing about this concept is very important. Uh, Third thing I would say is allocating across bucket, like how do you spend your time, which is very limited across career, learning, investing, health, right? So that again, you reap the benefits out of it is very important. You need to know how to rightly invest your time, wealth, money, everything in the right areas. Uh, Another concept that I've been recently deep diving is something called as asymmetric bet. How do you take certain bets in your life and career, which would give you exponential returns, right? For example, you do something with minimal risk, but large asymmetrical bets that you take. So, where the upside is far, far greater than the downside, right? So, those kind of things, figuring it out and working it out is again very important. Something which I would recommend you all deep dive into. Right. So investment and financial literacy is another area I would suggest you double down this year, right? Again, which will help you in uh, your life and also your uh, career and probably the wealth creation journey you go through, right? Finally, the last piece is community and network building. We are living in a world where people buy products from other people. People trust people more, right? So you would have seen uh, the social media and personal branding and the growth that companies gain through having their own niche audience and distribution is far greater than the traditional model of how companies operate, right? So this philosophy of knowing, hey, how do you know, like, do you know how to build the right community? Do you have the right network is very important, right? In today's age, especially when trust is a very important factor in everything that we do today, right? Like, let's say we are hiring somebody, let's say we are buying some product, we always look at, hey, what that person is like, what is his philosophy, is it aligned? Like we far trust more on people that we have been continuously following and we know, rather than stranger companies and products, right? So trust is a new currency. You, if you know how to build that, that's again a big skill that you could develop. Like especially in the product and growth journey of mine, right? I have realized that if you have a good uh, audience who trust you, who believed in you, uh, who believes in you, and who knows your journey, they are far more uh, better to buy things from you or trust you to on your products than some other stranger. So trust is a new currency. You need to know how to build that and to keep the promise. And another big thing, philosophy that I have always believed is giving before asking. Like, so how do you really add value to other people, your community, your network, before even tapping value out of that? So that concept is very important. And I believe that everything in life is around that. Like if you give value continuously over a period of time, you get value back. So that is also something that you should really learn and skillfully master. Uh, Knowing how to build curated spaces, like let's say offline meetups, online communities. If you are able to build that, know how to uh, nurture it, grow it, that's again a big skill in today's world. And as I told earlier, networks are exponential opportunity creators for you. So people who trust you, believe in you, are far more uh, at higher. I mean, like you get to see them buying from you or trusting you on certain things rather than random stranger. So this is a very important concept again to deep dive, learn more, and practice in these 2025 again. Like not saying in 2025 is the only time. This you should think. I see most of these things are evergreen things like which you should continuously learn on. But I really feel that 2025 it is more relevant. So That is another point I want to communicate. And I believe that, like, in my personal life also, I've seen, like, most of my and the opportunity where I got the products that I've been able to sell are again through these principles, right? Where I've given value and people trusted in me. That's why they gave me the opportunities. Um, or let's say they bought from me and stuff like that. So, in a nutshell, these are some of the things that I wanted to recommend as some of the skills that you probably should develop in 2025 and double down, master it, and start practicing. Again, in these times of rapid change and like exponential change that is happening around the world. So, that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video and you could relate to these skills, please share your thoughts in the comments. If you are practicing some of these skills, please share what all subtopics you are focusing on in these areas, or if there are more meta skills or skills that you are doubling down this year, please share those also in the comments, because I love learning, and let's together learn and grow together. So, see you uh, in the next episode. Until then, bye bye.